Well, first off, Dean, congratulations on the weekend win. It's now the start of a busy week, but I presume it's about channeling that positivity.
Yeah, it has to be. There was a lot of positives from the game to take. Obviously, latterly in the game, I thought our energy levels dropped, and by not scoring the second goal, we probably allowed Swansea back into the game. And that's something we probably need to manage better, probably be a little bit more clinical, but certainly very pleased and a lot of positives to take from that first half.
Obviously 2 games coming up Tuesday and Friday. Again, not much time to work with the lads on technical aspects. What challenges does that bring in these initial stages when you're kind of trying to get your ideas across?
I think you have to drip feed your ideas into players. I don't think you can change too much too soon. I've never felt that way anyway. We worked an awful lot last week, as I said, without the ball, out of possession. And I thought the lads took a lot of that on very well and took that into the game very well as well. I thought we won the ball back in high areas of the pitch which produced us good opportunities. And you know, the beauty of it now is to try and make us better on the ball when we do win the ball back. I felt that we gave the ball away too cheaply, probably rushed it a little bit. And said to the players, I do feel that when we do get that lull in the game, we have to have our rest on the ball. And what I mean by that is pass the ball well, and you can get your breathing. And the players are a talented bunch, but intelligent as well, quite tactically astute, which has been really pleasing for me. So I think what we're drip feeding will go in, and I think they'll produce it on the pitch.
You're known as a head coach who likes to play attacking, enterprising football. As you said, it's a case of drip feeding. But at what point do you think you'll be able to say this is a Dean Smith team?
I don't know. It's not at the moment. I mean, some of the ideas are new to them, as I've said before, and that's no disrespect to any of the coaches or managers have been here before. We just have different ideas at times. The players already have seen that I want an intensity in training because I believe you take that into a match, and they've been very good. They're very receptive, and that's the pleasing aspects that you can come to a big football club like Aston Villa, but the players, they're just human beings. They just want to get better, and we're helping them to get better.
Where did your football style come from? Who and what were your influences, and at what point did you kind of say, that's how I want to play football as a coach?
I don't think I've ever said, right, that's the way, because I don't think there is one way. Sometimes you have to adapt. Sometimes there's going to be teams that want to go and press you really high, and you have to go and play the other side of the press. Otherwise, teams are just going to win the ball off you in your half. So you have to adapt to, the opposition. For me, I think football's like a chess game, and you're trying to get 1 or 2 moves ahead of the opposition, and I want players to take responsibility, because at the end of the day, they're the big decision makers out there on the pitch, and the more responsibility that you can give them, the easier it is for them to make decisions.
You said you were good at taking the emotion out of the game. With that in mind, after Saturday, seeing a full house, 42,000, the crowd right behind you, what is this job? How good is the job Aston Villa head coach?
It's a great job. Yeah, I mean, it's one already that I've really enjoyed so far. I've only been in the job maybe 10, 11 days, I think. I'm not sure however many. But every day I've gone away from it, and it's been interesting, but it's been very enjoyable. So it's a great job. You're working with good people, great facilities, and really good players. And what's not to enjoy when you do that? Obviously, if you'd have got beat on Saturday, then you might be saying, well, I didn't enjoy that too much. But we got the result as well, which is the icing on the cake.
If we can talk about Tammy Abraham for a second, you can kind of see his goal output, but can we talk a little bit about his personality? Because I don't think many people saw it, but on the final whistle, he was banging his fist against the turf, screaming his approval. He really meant something to him. What does that tell you about him as a player, considering he's a lone player from Chelsea?
Well, it tells you about his hunger and his desire to become a better player. How he's joined in into the Aston Villa way, and he's become part of the Aston Villa family. I know he's on loan, but he's become part of that family. And the biggest word, and I keep saying it to the players, is togetherness. We're not going to win any games on our own. We're not going to go and challenge on our own. Everything has to be about the team, whether it's the the staff, the players, the supporters. You're only successful by everybody being together, and seeing the performance from him, not just the goal, the performance. He knows that he could have probably scored a couple more, but his performance was very good. He lost the ball and he chased it back, and people may say that's just a normal thing that they should do, but some players don't. He showed that passion to go and win the ball back, and he made himself a right nuisance today and put in a really good shift. And a couple of my friends had told me about that the end of the game, and it's really nice to hear from a lone player, that's for sure.
You've obviously brought in Richard O'Kelly and John Terry to the coaching staff. Have you got any plans yet to add to that?
No, we haven't at the moment. Obviously, we've got Sam Meeks helping us in the goalkeeping department at the moment, so a goalkeeping coach is another area that we need to go and strengthen. So I'll be sitting down with Suso and Christian and trying to organise that as soon as possible. But we wanted to come in, assess the situation, assess the players, and then 3 or 4 weeks down the line decide which direction we want to go in.
Axel Twanzibi's been in and out of the team so far this season. How would you rate his performance at the weekend? Because it's a position where you're kind of not blessed with many numbers.
Yeah, I thought Axel and Chesney were really good. I thought they played on the front foot, certainly in the first half. They made it pretty much relentless pressure on Swansea by good positions for rest defending, winning the ball back and recycling it. Second half, we probably, because of our energy levels, dropped a little bit deeper, and they defended the 18-yard box very well. He's got great pace. He's a big prospect. I've known of him anyway through playing through the junior ranks at England and watching his progression through that, and he looks a good player.
Brilliant. On to the actual match itself. Norwich coming up at Carrow Road. What are you expecting there?
It'll be a tough game. They're a footballing team. At Brentford last season had 2 tough games against them. Daniel has got them playing really good football. They're fairly fluid in their movements, but they've got really good players, and they're sat in the playoff spots at the moment. So they've started the season reasonably well.
As you said, you were relatively pleased with the performance against Swansea. What do you want to see improved at Norwich?
I'd like to see us retain the ball better. I thought our ball retention at times was a little bit sloppy, but I'd also want us to make use of the turnovers. A lot more than we did. We could have, from them opportunities, created a lot more big chances, which puts the game out of reach for the opposition, and that's something that we need to get better at. But also, keep our energy levels. When we feel that there's a time to rest, then we go and rest on the ball. First
away game as head coach. Away fans are known as some of the best in the country. How much are you looking forward to playing in front of those?
Yeah, I mean, it's a long journey for them, that's for sure. But knowing the Aston Villa fans as I do, they'll come out in their numbers again, and hopefully we can go and put in the performance again. As I always say, it's the performance that usually gets the result, and hopefully the players can, they've recovered well, they've trained well today, and go and put in another performance now.